Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in this world. And we're here on another edition of WOWSA Live with two special guests and our host, Ned Denison. Ned?
Thank you, Steve. I'm a marathon swimmer, and I'm also the chairperson of the International Marathon Swimming Hall of Fame. We've shifted our focus to Israel today. We've got two guests, Guy and Ori, and I'll ask them to introduce themselves. And I'll also ask them to give us a high-level history of open water swimming in Israel, some of the history, some of the big events, and then we'll drill down.
Ori, you have the pleasure, Ori, to start.
So I love the sea. I was born next to the sea. I like diving, scuba diving, swimming. It's almost my life. The last few years, I am coaching the National Israeli Open Water team, and I'm the founder of Water World and West Women Technique, and I love what I do. Half of my time I coach in the pool and in the sea, and half of my time I treat people in hydrotherapy, in PDD, ADHD, people that need low back pain, neck pain, and I love what I do. And I do it in Israel.
So
Guy.
My name is Guy Cohen. I'm a marathon swimmer here in Israel, and I'm coached by Ori. He's my master's coach in the Water World swimming, pool swimming. And through him, I also was introduced to open water swimming. That was a while ago, and I will tell you about the adventures there. And besides open water swimming, I'm an industrialist, a CEO in a company, and family and whatever. My former profession, I used to be an Air Force pilot, so I'm combining both the air, sea, and land in my career.
Tell us about the history of open water in Israel.
Well, I had the opportunity to investigate a little bit and search into the backgrounds, because a lot of the open water actually started here in the 1940s, early 1940s, and around the lake of the Galilee, the Sea of Galilee, where people started swimming the width crossing of the lake, which is a 10-kilometer swim, in 1942. And then 1944, the first length crossing of the lake was done by a man called Yitzhak Yechezkel. And that was actually the first, I would say, main marathon swim here in Israel. It wasn't so famous. People were not paying too much attention to it. So I had to dig a little bit deep in order to find out about the guy. And then I met his son, and wrote the story of his swims, and found out some articles in the papers. And people didn't swim, not too many people swam the length of the Kinneret. They swam the width, became a yearly competition swim, which was held throughout the 40s, 50s, 60s. But gradually, open water swimming more or less died out here. I think the focus went into the swimming pools, which were being built around the country, and it kind of was forgotten throughout the years. And only in recent, about a decade ago or 20 years ago, people started getting back to open water swimming, starting with the Galilee, then in the Mediterranean. And lately we see a huge increase of people coming into the water, swimming, also abroad in the Triple Crowns and channel crossings, but not too many. But I think in the future, because the number of people who are entering the open water now in Israel are dramatic. I think any open water event here in Israel draws about 1,000 participants, local participants, coming to compete in 3, 5, 7, up to 10Ks races. I think it's someone made the calculation that as a proportion from the total population of the country, it's probably the highest proportion of open water swim meets, considering the number of people who are participating. So I think there's a big interest now, and through a few people who have pioneered, this return to open water in the last years. Ori?
First of all, I have to say thank you to Steven, because as a coach, the world is like very huge, and every time I didn't find things about open water, about I think I asked Steven, Guy, if one of your swims, your belly started blowing after a swim. You remember it?
Yes, I did.
So Steven every time sends me an article to read and learn, and of course we pass it on to the swimmers. The amazing thing about swimming in Israel, that you really can swim 12 months all year. It's from maybe 16 degrees to 30, and we try to swim even in 30 degrees, which is a bit hot for most of the swimmers. But if it was only the summer swimming, now lots of swimmers swim all year long. Of course, some of them with a wetsuit and some without. Today was really, really beautiful, because you can see maybe 30 meters deep, lots of fish, stingrays, trigonim. Guy, how do you say it in English?
I have no idea.
Okay, so it's a star, like a shark, stingray, so you can see it a lot. And maybe I'll take you to a swim that, if it's possible. We did a 4C swim in 24 hours. It was part of showing, I think, the beauty of Israel, and of course how small Israel is, that you can swim 6 kilometers in each sea, and 24 kilometers in 24 hours, but in 4 different seas, which was really, really beautiful. And it's the amazing thing about it is it's like a journey, because each place we swam, we met amazing people that talked about the corals in Eilat, in the Red Sea, which is one of the beautiful places around the world to swim. We have 1 or 2 training camps in the Red Sea each year. Last year was a training camp of 130 swimmers, which is really crazy. Everybody with the pink caps, smiling, having fun. It's really hard for swimmers not to hug each other, especially here with the coronavirus. And then we went a bit north to the Dead Sea with this special masks. It was 40 degrees, which is, I don't know how much Fahrenheit, but it's really, really hot. So you have to drink a lot, and then put water on your face before you put the mask back on. And Sea of Galilee, we swam with Idan. Guy, he's the mayor of
the regional
Sea of
council.
Galilee.
Yeah.
What?
The mayor of the regional council of the.
And the amazing thing is he's a very good swimmer, and he's very nice, and he really wants people to see the beauty of the Sea of Galilee. And it's sweet, from salt to sweet. And then we finished in the Mediterranean Sea. Of course, I think the hardest part with going with a bus 24 hours without sleeping from one place to the other. But it's really possible to swim, and it's not too cold and not too hot. It's exactly in the right temperature. So, and we love to do it again with lots of swimmers because I don't know where in the world you can really stop and see people, meet people, because every place we swam, many people just started joining us, and it wasn't only about 10 swimmers that swimming in the four seas. It was like 100 swimmers each time preparing, and we really learned about corals and the water and the temperature and sharks and learning about nature. One of the crazy things about the coronavirus is I think the earth, or maybe God, is really mad that, I don't know if about us, but he's really mad that he's bringing us this virus all around the world that we can't even fly to meet. So it's pretty crazy.
Guy, you recently achieved the Triple Crown. Thank you very much. I remember in Ireland, the first Triple Crown, the second one was a week later, the third one was a week after that, and it's kind of exploded. Are you seeing a whole bunch of people behind you, Guy, going for the Triple Crown now from Israel?
Well, it's still they're still not flocking, behind, and but they are actually, yeah, responding very nicely. I was actually the second Israeli, the first male, but the first female is Avishag Turek. So both of us now are two Triple Crowners, a female and a male. So a man and a woman. So yes,
I have to say something about it. Guy organized a date, and Avishag organized a week before to be the first one in Israel. But yeah, Guy let her swim, and of course
strategy.
No, yes. Guy is competition is always good. Good makes only good results. No, people are really looking at it, of course, and many people are now joining in and actually seeing this as a target. But of course, they need to start from one to the other. But I'm sure many will follow, definitely.
And Ari, you had a very famous relay from Cyprus years ago. Did that help the popularity of the sport?
Very much. The first time we failed after training a few months, it brought lots of impact to people to clean the seas, to maybe bring with the family and grab nylons and plastic and just clean the sea, which was very nice. And we organized a swim to let people know that we have to swim in clean seas. And what happened every time we swam, we grabbed all the bags from the sea that we put on our heads, and we took a picture and uploaded it to Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And lots of people started reacting on it and started swimming and training with us. So I think it really changed lots of swimmers that they can see you can swim all year long. And we posted in English and in Hebrew about the training, about what we did, how to swim 4 times in 24 hours in the same place. I don't know if the danger, but swimming at night was really first time for me as a coach, and seeing lots of eyes looking at me. And sharks don't bite you, but you still, something grabs your leg and you shout and everybody stops. So it's like a journey. I think it's not only swimming as one person. It's a journey. And during this journey, one of the swimmers had a heart attack, and he's a doctor, and the doctors told him maybe he's not going to be able to swim. And but he heard swimming is very good after you're having a heart attack. And he started training very slow. And another swimmer broke his ribs during sea sport, not swimming. So it's like we were like a big family in Israel. When you join the military, you have the best friends for your entire life. It's like buddies connected, blood connected. And the 6 swimmers that swam from Cyprus to Israel, you understand during this team journey that it's not about you. It's not if you're a faster swimmer so you can help the team. No, if you stretch with your friend or you make him food and you look at him at night and do, okay, you have only 5 minutes, that's much, much, much more important than swimming faster, because if you swim faster, you can hurt yourself. And then if one of the swimmers is not, can't continue, so everybody needs to stop. So I think I learned, someone asked me, how do you feel failing in the first time? So I said, I think I went to the room and cried. And crying, what can I tell my family that didn't want me to join this journey? Because I lost my father in the sea. He crashed in a big wave. So my family didn't really want me to join this crazy swim during the night, 24 hours. And when you fail the first time, it's like all your body is crushing inside. But again, when you fail as a team, you hug each other and you understand that you're doing it for the team. So it really helps you manage lots of things in life, especially when you're afraid. I thought I'm not going to be afraid, but I did feel afraid many times during the swim, especially at night. And I think one of the times I saw the boat just leaving me in the middle of the ocean, and I started waving and shouting, and I started crying, and I thought, I look at the stars, and where should I swim? And I'm in the middle of the ocean. And after I started breathing on the back, just breathing and thinking what to do. The boat was there all the time. And they told me, Ori, are you going to lie down or swim? I was so afraid, I couldn't see it. They were there all the time when I'm shouting, and and someone's laughing or smiling at you and said, it's okay, just continue slow. And it helps you. It helps you. And I think at the end, when we succeeded, you understand the power of the team, how a good team that works together can really achieve great things.
Tell everybody a bit more about the Dead Sea. I'll set the premise for it. The Dead Sea is extremely salty. It's so salty that when you swim, your feet are sticking up in the air. Your body does not go in the water. It kind of sits on top of the water. And the salt is so strong that a woman should not shave her legs for a few days. A man should not shave his face. And you're wearing special goggles and special helmet to keep the salt away from your eyes. Describe the helmet and what it's like to swim with this.
I think the first time it's like a helmet that closes your eyes. And I think the first time is it's like you don't have air. You feel it's like hypoxia swimming. If I can swim 15 minutes for 1 kilometer, at the first time it was 22 minutes because you can't even breathe and you have to pull the mask off every 10 minutes just to breathe. That was training in the sea and in the pool. But when you swim in the Dead Sea, it's all the time. I think one of the swimmers, Erez, said you don't want to make expressions in your face because the water licks in. And if it licks in, you have to put the mask fast and you have to put lots of water. And then you have to see that the water gets out and then you have to stick it again. And if it's hot outside, it's like microwave on your face. You feel very, very hot. I don't know if Ram told you about not shaving, but the girls, if they shave or don't shave before, I don't know, it's like really cuts. Some of the swimmers had like knife cuts all the way here because they started gliding with the hand, and some salt starts being like crystals on the mask. So it's like a really knife. So you have to touch and maybe start pulling without doing this glide on the mask. So you really have to start changing your technique in order to swim longer without cutting the body. And we really didn't know how the body will feel. Maybe it's like a pickle because the salt starts getting out of your body. So we didn't know about nutrition, how much salt should we drink, and how much do we need to eat, when do we need to stop. So it was all first timer. And the crazy thing about it that we trained, the Israeli team trained in Israel, but we had 8 different countries all around the world that swam with us in the Dead Sea. So we had like 24 hours to teach them how to swim. I went to Cape Town to meet Ram Barkai and all the crazy mad swimmers, amazing swimmers, everybody, and work with them in the mask and feel how is it to swim in Cape Town, but maybe to try with talking with swimming to let them feel how it's going to be to swim in the Dead Sea. But the legs are really outside. So if your head is not really down, a bit even more down, you can really hurt your lower back because the legs float. And if the head is high, so after 1 kilometer, the pain just makes you stop swimming. And so we have to deal with working on the technique to feel what happens to the body in each floating position.
Tell us about your experience coaching the national program. And I will set the stage that most of the national coaches were elite swimmers, and they've been associated for many years. You were kind of very new at that whole international scene. How has your experience been? What are the big surprises you've gotten?
First of all, I really love it. And I think I coach in the water all year long. And something changed, maybe because of a guy that talks to lots of swimmers, and it comes really from the bottom. But starting coaching people that's in Israel a few years ago, most of the kids competed in open water without even training one time, without even feeling the salt. So the first competitions they started competing without training, they told me, I don't like it. It's salty. I said, yeah, the sea is salty. But it took them like, think about it. And they didn't know what about the Vaseline and how to put it. It was really, we did compete, but most kids that competed in open water in maybe national competitions, the first time they swim in open water was in the national competition, European, junior European competition. So I tried to change it, to let them see that it's fun, it's different. It's we're having fun. It's not about sprinting, of course, afterwards, yes, but it's not about sprinting. It's not about battling. It's not about grabbing the legs. it's just about enjoying this beautiful place and enjoying nature, and then understanding that they need to work as a team. I think today the long distance, of course, we have lots of way to bring an Olympic swimmer in open water in Israel. I really hope it's going to be 2021. It had to be in 2020. But lots of kids now, maybe 10 times what we had in 3 or 4 years ago, started swimming from beginners. And as Guy said, we have lots of competitions. And I tell Guy all the time, I want a big event in the long cross of the Sea of Galilee, and not only one swimmer swimming it. Because it's like you can swim 10 swimmers with one boat, seeing all the mountains behind. It's really, really beautiful.
10 swimmers with one boat.
No, not for legal, and just for having fun.
Okay.
Big boat.
All right.
Not a competition.
Not a competition. No.
I swam Straits of Gibraltar with 3 friends. We had a fantastic time, but I can think of many teams of tandem swimmers that didn't enjoy the experience. You know, one person is faster, one person is slower, one person feeds quickly, one person doesn't feed quickly. And if you're a water polo player, you know where you are, you know where everybody is. But a lot of swimmers are looking down. And maybe time for one last question. Guy, you've done the Triple Crown. Congratulations. What's next? What's the plan?
Next? My plan now, I'm more on the organizing side. We just started our Galilee Marathon Swimming Association, which I opened with Eyal Shachner, and I'm the chairman for this association. So I'm kind of moving into that field now, and we're organizing swims, or documenting, ratifying, giving, observing for any swimmers who want to come and challenge themselves, either in the Sea of Galilee or anywhere else in the other seas of Israel. You can swim in the Med, the Red, or the Dead. All these 3 seas besides the Galilee. So it's Galilee, Red, Med, and Dead. Come and swim. We can set you up and have a great time, and you can do all 4. So you get a bargain.
You guys have given Stephen permission to include your email addresses on the story. So I would encourage anybody who's looking for an adventure, give these guys a call. We have loads and loads of people who flock to things like SCAR, which is 4 marathons in 4 days. They're offering you 4 swims in 1 day. A very different concept. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much.